In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed. With no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although we had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hello! We finally remembered there was an audience expecting to watch us. Hello! This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and ADHD is real. These amazing people have agreed to join me tonight to play a game, which makes me happy. So let's get to them. Let's start with Phil. What do you do?
Me.
Where are you when you're not here?
When I'm not here, I live in the real world. But when I am here,
terrible place. Terrible
Shame.
place.
I live in the
Overrated.
digital world. I live on your guys' screens. I'm here solely for your entertainment. That's all I exist for. So
That's his
So
only
you're a
fans name.
YouTuber.
All right. Well, thank you for entertaining us. Then let's move on. Bison _ Stonefist.
All right, that's me.
You have the wrong name on in Zoom. You dirty bastard.
Yep.
Almost
Well,
called you by your real name.
I still haven't friggin' changed it. Oh
No,
my
you
God.
mentioned it
I even
once.
said I was going to, and
Yeah,
I
you did
forgot.
say you were going to.
And now
Yeah,
you've been
and then I
distracted. You're
didn't.
supposed to be talking about yourself.
I
Fix
know
it
I'm
after.
supposed to be talking. I'm here a lot.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays, I am the GM for our Cyberpunk Red campaign. Session 2 is coming up soon. Good times.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays, I play Linus
Wear
Longshadow.
pink?
Sorry.
You said on Wednesdays, and I said you wear pink.
Now I get jokes. Anyways, Wednesday I play Linus Longshadow, a Kender Echo Knight. That's the subclass on our D&D 5e game, Sudden Heroes. Good times.
Yeah.
And then today I'm here.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you. And that leaves us. They can't be surprised this week, cannot possibly be surprised, and must probably have all their links ready to go. Oh, yay! Wayward Knight, tell us about your own self.
Hi, I'm Wayward Knight, aka Chris, and I live here. Saturday nights I'm here playing Dead to Rights. Monday nights I'm here GMing our Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, Grave New World, and all the other nights I'm just all the other days too. I just kind of exist on the Discord.
Yeah.
I am also an artist and actor. I sell my art online. All of my links are right there. Go check me out, or check out my stuff rather. And I need to update it again. I just updated it, but I've been cranking stuff out, so I need like
Excellent.
cranking art.
Yes.
So I need to. Anyway, yeah, that's me.
Excellent. That's you. Thank you so much. And speaking of the Discord, there's the Discord. Join it. Very, very, very supportive place. That's enough happiness. Let's start this game.
For the trauma.
Hey, for the trauma. At the end of the last session, Artemis went to bed with a tremendous pounding migraine style headache and has remained there ever since. The others, let's start with Coas. Remind us where you
Yes.
were, what you were
Um,
thinking, and what your plan is.
so where I was last, at the kind of in the middle of the whole mechanic situation with the fancy car,
Yes.
and kind of watching as the exterior, as Koas doesn't have quite the capabilities of fully understanding what's going on with the car. He's letting like the savants do their thing, but he approached Verite when Verite had a bit of downtime and was in between like just finishing up the little toy model car that Verite had made.
Yep.
And he had talked to Verite for a brief bit and was asking Verite basically what would he do if he wasn't like if he could have the choice to do anything.
Right.
We had a conversation there, and the thing that Verite had said was that he would want to do gardening, more specifically, understand how flowers work.
And even more
Orchid.
specifically, orchids.
Orchids.
Orcas.
They're difficult to plant. They did.
That mental image.
So, with that, it's getting on towards evening in this day now. Coas, we're going to stick with you. I'm so used to having you guys split up that we're just going to do this.
Yeah, let's go for it.
You kind of are, anyway. So you've had that conversation with Verite. The little cart is finished. Stefano and Verite are starting to go over the big buggy.
I'm with them too.
And you're there too, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So Sid and
So almost the entire party's together. Jeez.
Almost.
Delilah, you were upstairs, right? Still?
No, I'm
no.
on the couch. I'm on the adjacent couch, also asleep.
Yes. Still with these guys or upstairs with Artemis?
No, Artemis and Delilah were in the main room on the first floor. Remember,
Right.
because
Yes,
they were
yes.
with Fatima.
Yes.
And she has been sufficiently boozed enough to pass out.
Yes,
so
right.
she's passed out.
Okay. Thank you. I should have read my notes. They're over there somewhere. So, Sid.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah. You think like
Our notes
Yeah.
can't be here tonight.
That's right. That's a psychological thing. Yeah, our note taker isn't here, so I'm screwed. So Sid and Coas sitting outside, having experienced the wonderfully encapsulated story there with the savants. I like that. That's their new team name. They've got shirts now in my head. I don't know how that happened, but what did the two of you do? Sid, you were working on the system itself, right? Or had worked on?
Sid, yeah, he went in there and he like turned it off for like maintenance mode, and him and he and Stefano were kind of like ogling the car, very much in a look but don't touch because we're gonna need this thing later kind of feel.
Mhm.
Sid's really into it, but at the same time he's starting to dissociate really bad.
Mhm.
And one or two times he calls Stefano Tomas.
Okay. And
Like it just every once in a while it doesn't even like the very next sentence he's calling him Stefano, but it happens.
yeah. So about the third time, Stefano says, "Who's Tomas?"
What? Tomas is gone.
Ah,
He was
you
my replacement at the boiler works.
you called me his name like 3 times now.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
He's trying to like you can tell he's trying to like wrap his head around what just happened and how he's trying to like how is he going to explain to it that he's seeing ghosts, like, but
In that silence, he says, I don't know about you, but the only reason I'm coping is because I'm not thinking about it.
I can't help it. Still haven't changed my name.
He goes, he's kind of
Yeah.
sitting on the outskirts of the conversation after finishing up Verite. Maybe, maybe don't think about what you've lost. Maybe, maybe try looking at what you still have.
Stefano kind of nods and looks back at you, Sid, and says, or try and figure out how the hell they regulated the pressure. And he points at one of the mechanisms behind you on the rig, on the card itself. And Verite goes back past and goes, I know exactly how that. He says, Verite, but I know. And Verite's, but he actually takes him around the corner. Like, has to physically move him away, so he gets not involved and doesn't explain. He doesn't understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Then he gets him involved in some kind of weird mechanism on the other side. And Verite keeps saying over and over, not very efficient. Nope, not very efficient. But
Yeah,
they get him away, and then he comes back.
And when Stefano does come back, Sid's again back at the hands behind his back, staring, kind of following things with his eyes. Occasionally he's taking notes. And he seems like he's kind of okay again, like he got distracted enough.
And as you're working on part of it, Stefano leans in beside you and says, you know, we could take this apart if we want to, right? And he looks over at Verite and says, he'd build us another one faster than we can take this one apart.
That's true, but... And he stops and he's kind of like, you have to admire the craftsmanship. Really,
Oh.
I mean, it's a work of art.
So, he grins, you want to help me with a real problem? How do we get Verite to include these? And he starts patting some of the incredible coach work that's part of this thing. How do we talk him into putting this on?
I've got an idea.
Yes.
Don't frame it as a decoration. Frame it as this helps distract people that look at it, you know? Perhaps it still has its functionality, and Verite is all about functionality. Turn into something that functions. Has a purpose.
There's a nod. Sid, do you have anything to add to that?
Including the craftsmanship. Well, I mean, he's thinking more around... I don't know, actually.
So you're thinking, and Verite comes around the corner. He's gone all the way around. He got distracted, and now he's all the way back where you are. And he comes around and looks at you and says, we can just... There's nothing wrong with pretty.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at, especially you, Coas, and he says, I like flowers.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You could just ask. And he starts looking at the gilt pieces that he can't change, like the pieces that you want in the other, this beautiful parts. And he's just looking at them like he's figuring out how to work around them, like they're the new frame.
But I mean, I'm also not lying with that. It still has functionality, even though it's pretty.
Oh yes,
They can
people
serve
like
both.
pretty. People like pretty. Yep.
It's something you put pride in, right?
Exactly. He's gonna lean onto one of the mirrors, and in my mind, I like to think that it's kind of like snaps off, maybe.
Yeah.
And it just
Squeaks.
oh, do I just like put it like back like
Just put it down. Just put it down. It's a weak spot. I will design it better on the new one. Should
Right.
I start? And Stefano goes, yes. Yes, you should. And Stefano or Verite sits down and starts doing the silver. If you remember how he does it, he has the little thread from his cloak and dips it in the liquid silver and makes these tubes out of it. He's doing that. He's apparently God night. It's already because he gets the full idea in his head. He's going to build the whole damn thing out of these little, like half the size of spaghetti tubes. He's just extruding yards and yards and yards of it in the corner now with his little forge.
Like a little spider.
Yep. And making little, as the next batch of silver is melting, he's making the little balls with the holes in them, and yeah.
So
Oh, this thing's
yesterday I did manage to find something, and I wanted to save it for today. If any of you are considering or interested in cracking another mystery, I found the core last night.
The core, as in, does that mean like?
This whole place?
Oh, that's cool.
Like the Steamworks, I haven't seen what could become of it. I'm very curious.
I like mysteries.
I knew you'd say that.
It should be pretty easy
The
to solve.
first time in probably 48 hours you see Sid's smile.
Yeah. So you guys are going to head back inside, down to the basement, and to the control room for the house?
Yeah. The one that we noticed had was under a lot of pressure.
Yes, yeah, tremendously high pressures. As you leave here, you've at least done the math and figured out what the pressures must be like in the in-house system.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've seen out here, this design, clearly a different designer, this is so much more efficient. The house is amazing, but it's amazing doing it the hard way.
Sid's aware, but he's also really curious exactly how they managed to get this much done, even with inferior technique.
Absolutely. So you head back in towards the house, and we're going to cut away briefly from the two of you to Delilah. Asleep. Couple bits of alcohol in the system. A couple bits, yep. Many's. But yes, enough to knock you the hell out. And straight into a dream.
I knew it.
I said dream. We know this is a nightmare. We both knew this is coming. Back in the city, back in your office, back in that space, knowing it's coming. But it's dream logic, so it's a month ago, before any of this started. It's your old desk, your old room, but somehow you know all this is coming. But you know all that you know now. The lady upstairs is mad to the bone.
She would try to get upstairs.
You're there. You're in the office. What in Delilah's head does her office look like? I don't know if Delilah's ever actually been there, but this is a dream, so.
No, I mean, this is the bigwig. She's never even been to the third floor.
Perfect. So, in Delilah's head, what does that office look like?
It's dream logic, so I think it shifts from like that grand pristine citadel design to covered in the mad writings and journals to saturated by the stink of flesh and steam and embalming chemicals, and it just like it's always in flux, but it's always upsetting.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. I love that. I could not have done that scene. Thank you. In those flashes, in those little moments, you hear that distorted dream voice. It's her, and she just says two words: help me. But they're distorted. Is it a request? save me? Is it help me continue to do what I do? It changes every time that background changes, right? So when she's in the office, it's just help me, save me, but then everything's black and shady and she looks like a demon and it's help me.
Uh, I mean, first instinct is no.
Mm-hmm.
Second instinct is also no,
When you
because
that
oh,
dream snap, right? When you pull away from something, where do you land? You're still in a dream.
I think I land downstairs in my workshop,
Poof. The new one or the old one?
the new one.
The new one. The little box of parts.
And she just immediately starts building. She's like, I don't have a lot of time. I got to build this.
What are you building?
Kind of like a proof of concept that the flesh is not necessary for the constructs.
Mm-hmm.
She knows it's going to be crude because she's not verite and she doesn't have a lot of time, but she's doing her best. She has that box of parts and she has those parts that she took from verite, and I think she's so desperate she like basically takes apart her automaton for parts because she's
Perfect.
like, this can't keep going, and
Yes.
I have to show the builders what's actually possible. I have to expose a little bit of gory Elizabetta gory.
Yes.
And she just like she's in a fervor.
Yeah. You still don't understand how Verite thinks. So it's not like this elegant little, like the automaton that he built for you. You use that in my head as sort of a skeleton. You have to add,
Mm-hmm.
add. At the end, it looks like a little silver wicker man. It works, like it
Yeah.
moves and it does all the things,
it's
but there's
it's a
this.
proof of concept. It
Yes.
can like it definitely like can use improvement and stuff, but
Yeah.
like this is just to show that like it does not require
It
bodies.
does not require bodies, but with this shape at the end, it looks a lot more human than Verite's stick figure did. Like his stick figure automaton. Yours has
Mm-hmm.
got bulges and stuff where you had to add tubes and pressures and hinges and stuff.
Got like pseudo anatomy.
Yeah, almost like I'm seeing, instead of muscles, I'm seeing like hydraulic hoses and these little silver tubes and
Yeah.
stuff, right? So it looks
Yeah,
like like literally like a wicker man, like the hollow one. Yeah,
I'm
with no
thinking of
humans in it, because yeah,
like shellless C3PO.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. That skeletal form, just you can see the skeleton and the muscles. Um, and because it's a dream, when you're finished, when you look down at that and you see this weird sort of overlay of shapes, it stands up, turns around, and walks away from you, all on its own. You didn't program that.
I go after it.
It does that thing where the faster you run, the further away it gets.
Oh god. No, 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 no. Uh,
It's like,
uh,
oh, now it's the gingerbread man. Remember, because snap, dream cut. Now you're chasing the gingerbread man. Yep.
um, does it ever just vanish?
Shortly after it turns into the gingerbread man, it starts to slow down, and you start to gain on it because this is the weirdest of dreams. And you're getting closer and closer, and you can reach out, and you're going to be able to grab it. You're going to be able to do this. You put your hand on your shoulder and on its shoulder and squeeze, but it's not gingerbread. It's wires and tubes, and and you wake up on the couch, hideously hungover.
Uh, oh, again am I drinking with Fatima. No.
As you sort of come to and say that, think that to yourself, you look around, and not only did they put you to sleep, and Artemis, they also, I think Artemis got upstairs, I think with some help, but they then came back downstairs, cleaned up, and then went to bed. Even though they stumbled off to bed the last time you saw them. They apparently weren't done yet. They came back down and cleaned.
Mom guilt.
Yeah. At that moment, the head's
yeah.
going like the two halves aren't even vibrating at the same speed anymore. You can feel the seams between the bones. Yeah. Yes, Artemis was on the other couch. Right. Okay. So yeah, you open your eyes, you look over. Artemis, you have to watch for a second to make sure they're breathing. They're that out. And you look back because you hear the door open and these two come roaring in. All excited and covered in ash and oil and all kinds of foolishness.
Oh my god. He's just like holy shit. Ow. She has to kind of like shield herself from the light that's coming in from the door.
Yep.
Sid recognizes the sounds of a hangover, so he's just like, oh, quiet. Girls have been busy while we've been out.
And yes, thank you, chat. I will correct myself. The house robots cleaned up after Fatima went to bed.
She sits up. Her head pounds a little more from the change of direction.
The eyes are now going. Yep. Direct experience.
And she.
I was about to say, you wouldn't have any experience with that, Kev, would you?
You're gonna have to tell me because I have not.
Yep.
But
well, I think I can squeeze it into one sentence.
Okay.
Pain and discomfort takes up so much of your world that your world is this big. That's about how much you can concentrate on at a time. So yeah,
gotcha.
It's through that tunnel vision that you see these two come in and slow down and start creeping very loudly across the room.
So
my creep is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids could use a little bit of work.
She's like staring straight ahead of her, but she obviously can still hear.
Oh yeah.
It's just like,
your ears are so sensitive you could hear a cockroach fart at this point.
Can you sneak a little quieter, please?
Sid stops and starts unlacing his boots.
Yeah, Sid, I told you, if you gotta worry about the steps there.
I was trying.
Look out for the different planks, you know.
I know. I'm just bugger it. I'm gonna use my socks.
Oh my god, shut up!
See, Sid, now you're talking too loud. Come on, Sid.
The two of them aren't even drunk. And
Sid slips out of his boots and tucks them under his arm.
Yeah. So the two of you ding, through the room. Delilah, are you going to let them go? They're just heading for the basement stairs.
Delilah knows where they're going.
Yep.
And as much pain as she's in, she might not get a chance to see this again if she doesn't go with them because she doesn't want to go alone.
Fair.
So she's gonna drag her ass off the couch.
Okay.
She's also going to take off her shoes because she's in work heels.
Yep.
So they're not like stilettos, but they have a little 2-inch heel.
Yeah. Which is far too tippy right now. I understand completely.
Yeah, they're like heeled boots basically.
Yeah. So as you spin around and sit up as slowly as you thought you did it, I need a resistance play, please.
Okay.
That's diamonds.
Diamonds.
One card unless you're proficient, and then you play 2, if I remember the rules vaguely.
I'm gonna play Mr. Joker.
So one success. Yeah, you almost do the over rotate and fall. Oh, whoa, 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 and you realize that your nap wasn't very long. It's a horrible hangover, but you might also be a little bit sauced up still. So it's not good. You're drunk and hungover, which is, oh, I can tell you also from experience, is hideous bad.
Oh, I feel like, but there's also still nothing left to like
Yeah.
yarf up, so it's just like useless nausea. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think any nausea is useful, but
No.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Sid sort of mouths the words water while making this.
Yeah.
She'll just go.
Yeah, the lock on the door. I presume that these guys left it not open, but at least unlocked when they left. But I'm not
We
sure.
never actually explored that area. We just kind of like we're gonna go there later.
On the you mean on the door going downstairs? Is
Yeah,
the lock.
for the,
Yes. We were getting to that. Thank you. Okay, so speaking of that, Delilah, yeah, you get up and so you said you're going to follow them after at the end. So kind of again, just imagine having the flu. It's like that, but you did it to yourself. So there's a whole bunch of guilt on top of the regular sick.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a familiar feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah,
Two old drunks.
Yeah. So, the two of you get down there first, Sid and Coes. Yeah, there's a lock on the door.
Did you lock it up when you left? Have you
Wasn't
actually
I?
been down here? No.
No.
Shit. Looking at the lock, how easy would it be to lockpick? Well, actually, first off, does it appear like it needs a key or a code?
It's
I mean, I know
it takes a code, but it's the keypad is physical. It's not electronic, right? Because there's no electronics here. So it is a code, but it's kind of a physical puzzle as well.
Well, wait.
So it's physical buttons you have to push in a
Yeah.
pattern, and each one has to click. Hexadecimal code, yes.
Wait a sec. You said it was unlocked when you came down?
Yeah, it was, but it was precious seal. We wanted to make. No, this is the wrong door. This is still making its way down there, right?
No, you go down to
Orders.
the basement, and then
Yeah, I thought
there
the
was
basement
all that stuff,
It's the basement.
and then
that's
there was a
locked.
door in the basement. Did
Yeah.
she lock the basement door? Or did she lock the door to the boiler room? No, she locked the basement door because Artemis was like, "Don't go in the basement. It's
Yes.
freaky."
Yes, and she didn't want the girls going down there. So yeah,
Me
that
not
makes
knowing
sense.
this.
Thank you.
Well, someone must have locked it then.
Thank
when
you.
she
Notes
left.
from home.
So I was like, it was Fatima. Something didn't.
Well, then we asked Fatima instead of spending time
Kate's
unlocking
downstairs.
it by other means.
It's so freaky down there.
I'll go up and talk to her. Well,
Okay, don't talk too loud.
sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me. The stairs are very narrow.
Delilah's still like clutching the railing and like one step at a time. Oh wait, no, they're not downstairs yet. So she's like leaning on the wall then. I forgot they haven't gone downstairs yet. But when they do go downstairs, she'll be clutching the railing going one step at a time.
So, Coas, you turn to head up upstairs. I want again. I'm not going to let Delilah have a play here because you're just not looking around, right? So, the other two of you, though, give me a perception play.
Perception.
All I see are ghosts.
Okay.
I have to play it.
Yeah.
I got it. So
Yeah.
All right, so that's a that guy. I'm gonna
So
go
we're going to get
for-
back to what that means in a second, but I want to see if Coas figures this out.
I don't know how. I don't know what I'm looking for, so I don't know how difficult this would be. So I don't know if I should go for a 2 or just a 1.
Remember, you get cards back immediately as long as you don't have, like, as long as you could take 5 minutes technically in game, you get a whole new hand. So
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
So I'll do the 5, and then
Okay.
I'll save this ace for later so I can ditch it and
Okay.
get the new hand. Do new cards. Take the 5.
So 1 success. Okay.
Success.
You turn around and as you start heading down the hallway, you see, there, like I said, there was paintings down both sides of the hallway, right? The portraits. This is the portrait
Yeah.
hallway. Somebody has carved a number, and you look, and it's actually 2 numbers, and you look again, and there's 3 numbers on the first frame. They've carved them into they're those, like a plaster of Paris frame painted gold,
Mhm.
and they've carved it into that fake gold finish. There's 3 numbers there, and you look at the next one. There's 3 numbers on that one. There's 6 pictures with 3 numbers in a row, and it's either it is true hexadecimal, so they're either ones or zeros.
Mhm.
So it's like 101, 110110.
He can put together like the code. I'm not too sure if he would understand how to put up the hexadecimal. How to like combine it together, or is it?
It's basically just the keyboard is just 10101.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause you could I didn't know if it was like a keyboard along with like the ABC. and all that.
I'm making this up as we go along. It used to be
Alright.
a full keyboard. Now it's just 2. So
That's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot it was hexadecimal in the true sense of the word. So thank you. Our notes from home are keeping me on track. This is awesome.
Because you could technically change that, like, because that's technically like you could go from base 2 to base 16.
Yes, I could have done it that way too, where each point had. That's I think what I actually said last week was each point had 16 possible states, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, we're doing it this way because it's easier.
We're doing it this way.
Yeah, otherwise I'd
Sure.
have to have 100 pictures down the walls to have all the friggin' information.
Or just carve in more.
More maybe, yeah. But either way, this is something that she did. She doesn't think that the girls will figure this out. That her teams will figure this out. So just to save your trip upstairs. Yeah,
So
beep, boop, boop,
I come back down the stairs.
Mhm.
Right. So I asked her, and she said, "Fuck off." I'm kidding. I figured out the code. And so I entered in the code.
As you lean in and press the buttons, Sid, tell me about the ghosts that see me now. I misquoted a song there somehow, but yeah, tell us about these ghosts. What do you see? And I mean, it's like this is a debilitating moment. This is a king.
It's a debilitating moment. Well, what he is seeing is the entire first shift, his shift. And he's seeing them as he presumed they died. Some of them had crushed skulls. One of them was boiled alive, and it's a horror show.
Yep.
And Delilah and Coas, they see Sid, and he's got really leathery skin, kind of darkish to begin with. He goes white as a sheet. His cold sweat starts. He's looking frantic, and he's not looking at you. He's not looking at Koa. Like he's not looking at people, but he's definitely seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's muttering something that sounds mostly like "I'm sorry, I couldn't save you," and among other things. And he's just kind of starting to cower in the corner.
So Koa's
Is
kind
this like so obvious that even I notice it?
Yeah. Cowering in
Blind
the
man
corner
can
is
see
even
him
going to get
freaking
through
out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Koa's is like focused on the keypad at first. So you have a chance to go first.
Sage?
Sid, actually take a trauma in mental.
It's
you
hard.
figure, or
It's hard, yeah.
yeah, social, yeah.
I think seeing somebody in distress is something that would sober her up a little bit.
Yep.
Not fully, just because you can only process alcohol so fast.
This
but
is a
like,
movie.
It's crisis sober.
Yeah.
Movie logic.
Sober.
Yeah.
But like it triggers her like doctor helper
Yes.
instincts.
Yep.
So she's like, Sid,
Ah,
Sid,
ah, ah,
what?
So-
Sid, what's
so-
what's I? She's
ah.
gonna like put her hands on Sid's shoulders very gently, and look at him and be like, Sid,
He's
it's okay.
trembling like a puppy.
And I'll
Sid,
turn back. Everything all right back there?
hey, I don't know what's happening. You might want to get.
Yeah, I'll leave this here for a sec.
Can you
Yeah.
go get like a cool cloth or something? Hey,
Yeah, sure.
Sid, and she's gonna like stroke his face to let him know that like there's someone here with him and stuff, and be like, Sid,
He starts. He kind of like jerks away from the hand. Then he actually kind of sees it for the first time. He follows the arm up to your face and it's like, "You're alive, right?"
yes, yes, are you?
My
We're
dad.
all alive.
My dad.
Come back with the cloth here.
Here.
Here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll start patting his forehead a bit. You know, cool down.
Sid,
And wrap
what?
this around your neck here. Put it around your neck. It's good. It's in there. It's kind of like cools down your whole body.
Sid, what happened?
You good, man?
I lost them, all of them. They're all gone. But they won't.
Your
leave.
men. Your men?
All of my friends. All of them are gone.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't save them. It was the tower. It came down and I couldn't save them.
Delilah's going to try to take Sid into just a very gentle hug. And just like, when you're in a hug, your mouth is close to the other person's ear, and like very softly, she's gonna say, I am so sorry. I know that is a tremendous loss. And I can't imagine what that's like. But please know you didn't lose all your friends. Implying that,
Yeah.
we, us, are his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
must have been terrible. We're here for you, man.
I still see them. All the time. And I don't know if they're happy about it.
I mean, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's your conscience.
I go through some. Yep, I go through some similar things. Sometimes my brain wanders and I hear things that are not there. See things sometimes that are not there. Never, not to the extent of the ones you lost, but it's sometimes hard to distinguish reality from and so you're it's difficult. Yeah.
Sid's quiet. He has like fully melted into Delilah's embrace, like just that reassurance that there's somebody physical, somebody who's real and alive. it means something to him. He's just kind of like latched onto that. And it takes him a few minutes. Like, there's occasionally you hear him sob and say a name. You have no idea who any of these people are.
He's going
And-
to oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
She's going to gently like place a hand on the back of his head as another like way of reassurance, just like as much comforting contact as she feels like she can get away with, to just provide him a safe space.
And you have to kick in the mechanics of the game briefly. You have a thing, right? You have a mechanic.
I do have a thing. It does require a long period of time, though.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I do have a thing. Let me look at my thing that I have.
Bear hug, I think it's called.
It's bear hug, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take away a trauma from any characteristic.
Anything that you can justify, and this makes
Yeah.
and this is easily justifiable.
He's got the
So
one
Sid,
throwaway. Sorry.
Yeah, the pain isn't gone,
No.
but you can function
Yeah.
because
he's-
somebody's here, somebody's real, somebody's making sure you're safe. You're not alone.
Yeah, and I mean after the heart to heart, really, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sid's like, all right, I think I'm okay for now. I'm sorry. That's
Don't be sorry.
That's nothing.
There's nothing to be sorry for.
I mean, you did make me lose track where I was in inputting the ones and zeros.
Shut up,
I have to read.
Carlos.
It's my tip of humor. I didn't lose track. I kept it. Alright,
And
I'll just.
You turn around
Yeah,
and
and
tick,
Punch
tick
in the
the last two
Yeah.
numbers, and
Yeah.
and the door open. This first room, I don't know if anybody remembers, was nasty.
Mm,
But
Oh, shit.
But the boys were down here for quite a while and nobody was watching.
oh no.
Well, it's no. I think you might want to change that last word. When the three of you go down the stairs, there is not a hint of a construct left. They've all been replaced by valves. They've all been replaced by tiny little bits of machinery. There's none of those hideous built-in constructs left in the control mechanism.
What did they do with the bodies?
it's like, I'm not sure I want to know, but
Wait, there used to be bodies down here?
yeah, you see
it
that
was
panel? There used to be a flap. It's disgusting.
it was nasty.
Good to know.
You thought the
You've seen
constructs
some
were
of the
bad.
other ones in the house, right? Like you saw the Roomba that was the person that vacuumed, like they were basically
Yeah.
the person from the waist up. Yeah, that's what they're telling you was down here.
Yeah.
It was
Full-
in
full
the
Cronenberg.
holes and
Yeah,
the
there it is. Yeah,
pipes and blah.
yeah. So these little, and I'm just gonna play with that for a second because full Cronenberg is right. This place had that dark, gloomy thing, and then there's these little spots now of all silver. You know, just like little silver growths, little fungal.
Like new
like
pipe work
funguses.
in the old house.
Yeah. But it's also verite, right? So it's organic in a completely different way.
Mhm. Sid actually stops where the panel that he was looking at the first time around,
Yeah,
and he
Where he
looks
fell
at how
asleep.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
where he fell asleep,
yeah.
and he looks at what Verity's changed, and like, that little monkey really is a genius. Look at all that. Didn't need that. Didn't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell. Anyways, goes this way.
And you go
All right, let's see it.
you go further down. There is another locked door. It's the same. Nobody would know. You I mean you've only got the one code, so you try it again. It works, and
Ta-da.
you step into a white, almost silvery white room. It itself is almost a perfect cube. It's about 10 meters, a little over 30 feet on a side, and it's also that high. But there's only like this much space between you and this vibrating mass. It's the side of a massive steam engine. Sid, you've seen double, triple, even quadruple compression steam engines. This is orders of magnitude beyond that. The pressure here, if ever a valve fails here, there's going to be a crater.
And he's
Tens of
suddenly
thousands of
thankful that
kilos of pressure just
suddenly
humming in this
very
space.
thankful that Verite hasn't found this place and gotten rid of all your redundancies.
You said it. I would like from you, as you start to look around, probably training. What of your special training stuff would you think would allow you
Engineering design?
to... Yeah, absolutely perfect. So give me a play in spades. 2 cards.
So, Sid, what am I looking at here? It just looks like one big machine to me.
It is one big machine. It's one of the bloodiest, most bloody beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. 2 successes, 5 and a
2
3.
successes. Perfect. So that's a success plus extra information.
Mhm.
This bit, the engine, was not built by the person that built the rest of this house. This engine, this super high pressure thing, was built by the same person that built the cart.
Yeah, it's probably the first thing he'd notice.
Does he share that
The person who
information?
built this, the rest of this house, is not capable of this.
Yeah. No, this is far beyond what Elizabetta was capable of. This is the same, probably the same bloke that built the car.
Oh, well, the guy who made the car had a maker's mark. Yeah, we can confirm that by looking for a maker's mark. Here, let me.
I'll grab a
take
ladder.
As you start to move a little bit, you see another Verite creation. Don't ask me how he got through the locked door. It's Verite. He probably didn't notice it was there. But there is
Phase through
inside.
the door.
There's a little silver
Clip
mesh
through.
area that it's at first it looks almost like the back of a speaker because it's vibrating. You know, like you can see the back of a speaker with a magnet on it bouncing back and forth. And you realize, Sid, I'll give you this as your second success from that previous play. Verite has this place was hyper overpressured before to prevent any explosion from going into the building. It was going to go up. He has balanced that so that it's still going to go up, but now people can be in here. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been even able to open that door.
Well, the pressure would have been too much.
So
Did he get in?
The lock system when he bypassed that, he also bypassed his pressure system from outside and then came
Of
in
course.
here and added a thing. It's Verite.
It's
Yeah.
Verite.
It's magic.
It was a lock. It was a locked door he wanted into, so he got into
Yeah.
it. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, Verite
If
is
they didn't
magic.
want it to, if they didn't want it to be opened, they would have made it a wall.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Everything's a puzzle for him, right? And it's like, what's behind this? You want to talk about ADHD? What's behind this door is far better than I see a cookie.
Do
Yeah,
I end up
but
finding a
what
maker's
about
mark?
I see a squirrel?
Yeah. And yes, you do find the maker's mark. Same one as outside. Cappuccino Coachworks.
And that we have proof. It's the
You
same
find-
lad.
You find some other things on this that let you know this was originally designed for a naval vessel. This power plant is designed to run something the size of a very large yacht or maybe
Yeah.
a military vessel like a destroyer.
Somebody put the word knots in there somewhere.
Yes.
We're gonna have to change it out to
So that's what this was originally designed to run, was like a destroyer-sized ship. And it's hooked
Yeah,
up
like
to
a
this
legacy variable. It's like still like, oh, submarine part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's the
Uh,
information you get from that. For
So what's the mystery here? Is it just looks like one big machine that's made by the same guy that made the car?
It's yeah, it looks like it was custom. Well, I won't say it was custom built. It looks like it was built for something else, and they decided to put it here instead.
Yeah.
A very large boat, probably, and it's gorgeous.
So what you're telling me is this place could turn into a boat?
Koas
I'd
hasn't
have
slept
to
in a
ch-
couple days. He's getting
Nah,
a
no,
little,
he's-
little
He
punch
did- he did
drunk.
sleep.
Yeah, I know.
No, he did
He-
sleep.
he-
That's
did
that's
sleep.
the problem. He's had too much sleep. He's all sassy.
He's still dreaming. Yeah, he a little bit of a chuckle at that, and kind of like, well, that would solve all of our problems now, wouldn't it?
Wait,
too easy.
so I'm still probably drunk, but how? What came first, the car or the big steam thing?
My
Judging by the
guess.
level of intricacy, probably the points at the generator. And honestly, the house probably came next. This thing's bloody huge. You'd have to excavate the whole bloody thing just to put it in.
So then, did the crazy bitch? Did she commission this boiler? And how did she know she would need the boiler? If
Well, because I believe she was doing experiments on her own before any contacting or reaching out to this company. My timeline here is that she must have heard about the car. The car must have been something, attraction or whatever have you, and then she reaches out to the owner or the maker of the car, sees what else they can make, sees that they can make this huge ass thing that can power a whole house and stuff. Get it here, build the house, and then with the two technologies combined, well, not combined, but with the two technologies, she's able to kind of retrofit it to her constructs. That's timeline may shift a couple pieces here and there, but that's what I got from this.
And Delilah, because you've read the journals, some of these weird reference things that you didn't really get before start to fall into place. And you're really, really, really close. She was trying on her own to create essentially artificial servants. That's all that they wanted. That's why she wanted the human form, is because she wanted servants. Her friend from the city came along in this fantastic cart. She thought it was great. She also realized that it was the technology that she needed. As an excuse to keep him around, she got him to power up the building, and then he was going to do the whole rest of it. But she proposed the idea to him of doing it her way. He said, "You're crazy," and she killed him. And then took his technology and perverted it using her own special weird and took it from there.
Okay, so where is he in the boiler room?
okay,
It's the next thing that pops in my head.
So I guess the next step would probably be trying to find the maker here, and then ask him a bit of questions. I mean, he's in Venice, right?
sorry. Flashback. No. He's dead.
Oh, again,
Oh,
like during the dying.
No, like he said no and she killed him.
he
Bloody
scratches
hell.
off something off his like notepad. So that's not happening.
The
All
thing,
right.
I mean,
Ugh.
this thing, I'll give this to Sid. This thing's too big for one person to have built. It is custom. Everything's custom. Like all of this stuff is custom. But this is too big for one person to have built this. And it's called Cappuccino Coach Works, not like Joe's Customs. So the company or family may still exist in Venice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be like, there's no way just one person made something like this. I mean, even my shift had a dozen men and women on it. That's
Everybody
just to
says his
keep.
scratch out. Right, Pat. Okay, all right.
So,
So we still have to go to Venice to.
we
Well,
still have.
we have to go to Venice for Thomas.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't we have to go to Venice anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to go to. Lois,
Oh.
are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. The kid's, kid's fine. I know he is. I could, I can feel it. He's gonna be.
Feel it in your bones.
Yeah. I mean, hey, yeah. Again, you could break into the Citadel.
That,
You
yeah,
can
How is
do whatever.
that little
how
bastard is doing just fine.
how is this
Don't
like
nobody worry about me.
theme affecting Delilah's hangover?
Oh, this room would be
Gone.
heavy
You're
loud.
just dry. You're just dehydrated now. That's this again. Like this is movie logic, right? So
Well, I mean, having had to deal with trauma while absolutely hung the fuck over,
yeah.
you tend to forget about it when you've got something more important to worry about.
Fair.
And then every
Because
once
now
in a while,
she's
yeah.
now all of this shit from the journals has clicked again, and she's like just fucking
She has a headache for a different reason.
Yeah.
yes.
Trying to figure out how
It's
to
like-
give yourself a hug. Yeah.
Honestly, though,
Oh yeah. So, yeah, that's what you guys figured out downstairs.
Nice.
Sid is actually kind of looking to see if Elisabetta integrated this guy into the machine. I know it's really creepy and fucked
I
up,
need
but
a perception check.
I
And
don't
it's
know
been
if we would
and it's
know,
been
'cause
5
we don't know what the
minutes.
guy looked like.
And it's 5 minutes, so go ahead. Well, I get yeah. That's a fair point, but I'm still going to let him make a test because I got
I have a joker.
a joker. So 1 success. All right. You look around and there's the place that you normally would expect. Like you kind of seen her work now, right? So
Mhm.
there's a control panel and you would expect something to be there if it was going to be.
Yeah.
That control panel is there, but it's the one place in the entire structure that hasn't been fixed by Verite and Stefano that there isn't a construct. It's a simple mechanical sort of hand that clicks the controls as needed be.
Oh, it's literally like the construct is thing.
Yes, but it's not. There's no human element to it. It's purely mechanical.
That's all she kept.
Not
It's
even.
the best she could do.
Not even. Like this isn't his hand in any way, shape, or form. This is an
Oh.
actual mechanical process that has nothing to do with constructs the way that she builds them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the only part, like she did actually integrate him, and it's his hand.
Yes. And no, Artemis wouldn't have drawn him. He wasn't one of the 18 because he was never built in here. Out of character, she killed him and burned him. He's gone. She killed
No
him in a fit
evidence.
of rage for calling her crazy. So,
All right. Well, yeah. Sid's kind of curious about this thing. It just all it does is just input commands.
yeah, it basically all it is like pressure up, pressure down, safety. You know, it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Something that could have easily been done by a few regulating.
Yeah.
Fucking switches.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's. He's sort of like he does a lot of musing out loud. I'm starting to see the difference between his work and hers. She's not that good. I mean, I don't have the training, but I've certainly got the skill. I could almost replicate this. It's kind of sad.
Between you and Delilah, you could do much better than this.
I mean,
Never mind Stefano and Verite. I mean, just the two
Yeah.
of you could do better than this, and this was supposed to be her specialty. So, go
It goes to show how much the Citadel was more politics than actual talent at the top.
Never did like bureaucrats.
Hey, me neither.
No, I was
Always
just
found a
thinking
way
about
to
how
work
she
around
was
it.
fucking raised by
Yeah,
bureaucrats and
yep.
like how
Mhm.
her life ended up.
You were going to be one. Like, you were going to be that star bureaucrat, the one that still has skills, not just paper pusher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, do you head back upstairs?
Delilah does.
Okay. Sid, Goas.
Sid's probably going to ogle the machine a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
While Sid's ogling the machine, Ghost is gonna kind of lean up against the doorway, this thing with just dials,
Yeah.
writing up some stuff,
Doing the
and then
slouch.
he's gonna,
Yeah,
he's
the
gonna,
Yeah.
detective slouch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, at one point, he's like, "You two would have absolutely loved this place. It's a shame." Turns around.
Coworkers.
My father taught me how to do everything I know how. I took his job when he died. Between him and Tomas, they would have fucking loved this place.
Do I hear this as I'm like turning to go?
Yep. Yeah, he didn't whisper it. This place
Definitely
vibrates,
didn't
but it's
whisper.
not loud.
Kind of points upwards to stairs. Our father, had a different path for us than where we ended up. So, not much inheriting there.
Sorry to hear that.
Apollo was supposed to be the one. And
That was the brother, right?
yeah, the twin. Oh, by nature, closer to Artemis, but once he left, it, God, I guess you could say it caused a big divide between at least for me, it was between me and the parents. I think already too. Yeah, went through a lot of shit trying to come to terms with it.
Delilah has like stopped walking and is listening to all of this.
And I never did quite solve the case, if you will. And I'm realizing now that it hasn't quite caught up to me that I'll never be able to finish solving the case. What truly happened to Apollo?
Some answers are best left unsought.
I know, but I've been working at that for a while. And I'd like to say I was making progress and getting headway, but really, all the leads I found just never got anywhere. And there's always the one case that would get away from me.
I know I've asked about this in the past. Did anything about Apollo's just sort of fading away from the school sit weirdly?
I remember you asking the question. It was like he was a classmate, and he just disappeared one day.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. And that
It
would
was never
be
really brought up.
the only I'm going to give you a little bit of information. The only thing you can think of is that sort of month before he disappeared, he missed quite a bit, which was odd because I mean you guys are so, so focused you don't miss days, right? He missed 4 or 5 in the last month before he finally disappeared.
And this is in.
Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I completely take that back. That's right. There was an accident, and Artemis was the one that survived. So
Yeah, and
I
then
think
the disappearing from the class was that because he was dead, and
because
but you weren't
you were never
too
told.
close.
Sorry.
You were never
Yep.
told.
Sorry. I
Yes.
started.
Right.
I started
right.
making shit up that I didn't need to make up. Thank you
And
again.
however,
Notes from home.
to note here, Hois, to a certain extent, believes that the accident wasn't quite an accident.
Yeah,
It
like that's.
was.
I guess that's kind of what I was
Okay,
getting
so-
at.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Kev.
So yeah. So this
Speak to you a
does
bit more on
still
that.
this does still work. Oh, this is even worse. Yeah, because 4 or 5 missing days in the month before. Yeah. Oh, this is horrible. I'm so sorry. Yeah. But yeah. Yep. Yeah. The whole thing just happened in my head. Wow. Yeah. So he doesn't.
You
Coas.
verified.
Yeah. Coas wouldn't know that. Yeah. I verified a plot line. Yeah. Coas would not know that he'd missed those days.
Turns around kind of slowly and walks back over to them and goes, Cois, did you know that Apollo was missing school before he
Uh,
died?
I mean, no. I mean, granted, I wasn't like checking up on them every day. I still had my own shit. And whenever I talked to him, he said he was doing fine and everything was okay. But I could tell there was something. I could tell there was something off with him before what happened. But I didn't know he was missing school, and it's
No, he missed like 4 or 5 times, which is really bad.
really unlike him. Really unlike him. Out of all of us, he was the smartest one of us three. Smarter than
I
Artemis
mean-
said, slightly smarter than me.
For what it's worth, I don't think the case is closed. I just think it's going to take a little more effort.
I appreciate that, but all my leads and all my avenues of investigation
said
are gone and
all your
buried under
leads-
that dust.
You said all your leads were basically nothing.
I mean, yeah, but like, there's still some threads I can try to grasp onto.
Do you remember any of them?
I mean, a couple, a few. Some of them led into dead ends. Like, I thought there was this whole thing with there's this. I don't know if you guys heard about them, but there was like this one kind of group that were kind of how do you say not quite in favor of the Citadel. They weren't.
Those picketers that always show up?
Yeah, like those the protesters and all that.
Yeah.
I,
I'm familiar with them.
I thought there was a line there, but didn't end up leading anywhere.
Did you ever consider possibly the idea that any of these lines took yourself outside of Florence? I mean, back then we all thought the outside was a bloody wasteland.
Well, actually,
Like, really, our entire world's changed in the last 3 days.
hold on, wait up, shut up a sec. No offense. Sorry. And you see he's going back through his notebook. He's flipping back through pages. Actually, yeah, there was 2 here that led outside the city, and I just kind of chalked it up as, well, hey, you would never go outside the city. I mean, even I never went out there.
Well, I mean, Artemis left to go to the scrap quite often, didn't she?
I don't cut the scrappers out of the city.
Most people don't.
I mean, the concept is the same, though.
Right, but well, no, the scrap is still something that we knew at the time was something you could still go into. It was just dangerous for its own reasons. Outside was thought to be impossible to leave, and no one really had reason to leave. Except, okay.
Lila really wishes she had contacts. left.
So yeah, there's this one thread that apparently there was like these. I wrote it off as completely stupid, and I didn't really have a way to investigate it. But there was these apparently these drop-offs that would happen outside of the city walls. I couldn't really go out there to investigate, and I thought it would be impossible for Apollo to go outside the city himself if I couldn't. So I never followed up on that. I
What
scrapped that
time were
idea.
the drop-offs? Like what time of day?
Um, you'd think it would be in the middle of the night, but actually it was during the day. Um,
Like when classes would be?
yeah. Huh. Shit. Yeah, because that would be the time where it's like most people are doing their shit. Uh, and you wouldn't expect, like in normal drop-off situations, you usually do it at a time you don't expect. If you do it at night, it's easier to get caught actually, despite the cover of darkness, because people usually aren't out at night, so it's more suspicious, and it throws people off if you do it during the day. So during the time of schooling, that might be it. And I had a link there. Huh.
How do I do this?
What are you thinking, Kev?
The
Kevin's fucking loving it. I can
the
see
answer
I
is
know.
gears going.
I'm.
the
We
real
had that
answer.
like really evil look, like
Like the,
No, the
you couldn't
the
tell
real
if he was
answer is
if he
up
was
asleep.
thinking or biting his finger.
The real answer is asleep upstairs on the couch. But to move this plot along, you built so much of it so close. Um, the timing works. You start working out the dates. This was Apollo leaving the Citadel with stuff, going to the scrap, and coming back without the stuff. The last trip, yeah. The last trip it's reported, you guys figure out that he didn't take anything with him. He just went and came back. And very shortly thereafter, there was an explosion that killed Apollo and almost killed Artemis. Artemis was collateral damage. This was an assassination. I'm going to give you this because I love it. Apollo was trying to be a good revolutionary from the inside. He was taking gear and weapons and tech out to the people in this scrap so that they could start the revolution. But they
That
got
explains the catapults.
but they got too wound up. And he changed his mind and he went out there and said no more. And they said, bring us more or we'll kill you. And he said no more. And he went home and they killed him. Artemis being wounded, complete accident, they don't care. Collateral damage.
oh, the
See-
people
see.
in the scrap are the mob.
They were
No,
they were
the
wannabe
Irish
they were wannabe
the IRA.
revolutionaries, but they got too excited and
Oh,
Apollo
okay.
just like no, this is like he wanted a relatively peaceful revolution. They wanted to burn it.
Mm.
So and given their again the penchant for not killing people, they started talking about killing people, and he said no, so they killed him.
He finally, after this information has been kind of dealt back and forth, and he starts to make the connections in his head. He finally solves the case in his mind. And then,
No one to bring to justice. Everyone's dead.
not only that, it didn't have to. It didn't have to happen at all.
Sid puts his hand on Koas's shoulder. He did it because he's a Damasi. You three are all alike.
He was not supposed to be like us, though. That's the thing.
More than you think. You're good people, Koas. You, your sister. Bloody runs in the family, you just didn't know it.
He was the golden child. And as much as I hated him for being the favorite somehow, he was the better of us. Oh, fuck. Shit. Those fuckers in the scrap. Oh, fuck. Did the scrap get covered? By the
Oh, yeah.
Did the
Scrap's
scrap
gone.
get destroyed too?
It was mostly destroyed before the ash ever got here because the earthquake.
That's true, because the earthquake's got it.
Yeah.
Sid's like, Koas, this isn't the place for this. We're here in the guts. Come on, let's get up into the
Right.
above ground.
Yeah, right. I can't even. Oh, fuck. I can't even, like, do anything with this. There's. I have this revelation. I'm gonna have to tell Artie this. I'm gonna have to tell her that.
She's going to be devastated, and she's going to need you.
No, I don't think she's gonna need me. I think I'm gonna need her.
Your siblings, it's the same thing.
I'm gonna go take a sit down for a bit.
So the three of you leave the power room. The door closes behind you.
You're muted.
Oh, I am? Or am I just being
There we
quiet?
go.
I think I was just being
No,
quiet.
you're good.
I was
You're
just
good
being
now.
quiet. So,
No, you were muted.
not sure how. Anyway, you head outstairs. The door closes behind you. You head up, you head out of that room. The door closes behind you. The vibration sort of ceases. That whole room was rubber rigged, if you remember. You go back up the stairs, back into the house itself. And as you do, the sun is setting. And if you remember this morning, there was a red sky, a red dawn. That's you could actually see the sun enough to know that the sun was coming up. Well, it's even more now. You can actually see a disc, the red disc of the sun coming down onto the horizon and doing that thing where it just does the melty layers, the layer cake look as it disappears over the horizon.
The reversal of that shot from the beginning of the Lion King.
Yes, yeah. Which is backwards. So yeah, that scene, the red sun sets. The door to the garage opens below you, and light pours out, way more than there was before, like bright working lights. And then you can see, the three of you can see out the window, Stefano and Verite physically pushing it. They haven't started it, but they're physically pushing Verite's finished product out of the garage. It looks vaguely like the other vehicle, but made out of silver spider webs. But trapped in that webbing, all those bits and pieces, all that gilt, all that flash, has been turned into one giant orchid. So that the whole vehicle looks like a flower trapped in a spider's web.
Oh, that's cool.
Verite and Stefano come to a stop, and Stefano backs up, and you can kind of see them. They're almost silhouetted, and this is that low angle shot where you can see they're looking through the spokes, and you can see the two of them silhouetted against the frame of the door, and they got their arms crossed like that, and Stefano just reaches out, and he's Verite, oh, and
yeah.
And then you see them look up at the window at the two of you. Stefano goes, Verite goes, which is something because he's actually showed pride in his work this time.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize he's pointing at the orchid. He's not proud of the thing that just happened. He's proud that he made it look like a flower.
Yeah, definite slow clap from Sid.
And there's just a little tiny mist of ash falling. It's almost stopped. In fact, to the east, even though the sun is set in the west now, in the east it still looks lighter because you're near the edge of the cloud. The cloud is starting to blow south of you. The volcano itself has more or less stopped erupting. It lasted almost 2 days. But the wind has changed slightly. By tomorrow, you'll probably be able to see. The world's going to be covered in 3 feet of ash. But that beautiful car is still going to be there. And you've still got Stefano and Verite on your side. And you got some painful answers, but at least you got some answers. And if you ever needed a reason to go to Venice, you got more and more of them than you've ever had before. But with those two down there, and the will and the drive and the focus of the four of you, this is beyond hope now. This is starting that march to fate. You can feel things starting to move, things bigger than you. Destiny, whatever you want to call it, is calling. This world was a horrible place. And it got worse. And then it got worse. And then it got worse. But now there's a chance for a fresh start. You can take the bits that were good. And you can add the bits that you found. And you can make it all better. You can fix this. You can't bring the people back, but you can make the world a place where they can come back. It's all on you. So no pressure.
Well, I mean, there's lots in the basement.
I was just thinking now, I'm like, this is steampunk. It's all about pressure.
But with that, as crippled emotionally, mentally, and in some cases even physically as you guys are right now, I hope that there's that little beam of light. So that as this sun goes down and adds that red tinge to that beautiful flower chariot in the driveway, that somehow Verite and Stefano have rigged with an electrostatic charge so the ash doesn't stick.
Nice.
It just sits there. And the ash comes down and goes around it and lands on the ground, making like a little bank around it over the course of the night. And that untouched state, as the sun goes down and the moon comes up, and it turns that red silver that looks like blood to silver that looks like light, is where we will drop the panel on tonight. Because that was that full color splash page at the end of the graphic novel, right?
Yeah. I'll save a bit more insight into Covis's mind for next session.
Thank you, because I also want to give you a chance to drop this bomb on Artemis.
Yes.
That's going to be a great episode.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be rough on Covis. Honestly, I feel like a bit more than Artemis.
I think so too,
Because
yep.
if he had just
Covis is obsessed about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's been obsessing about it for
he's
years.
been obsessing it
Yeah.
for years, other than Artie, which is Artie has been a bit more
She
kind of
has
with
dealt
terms with it.
has
Yes.
dealt as much as it is possible to deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're carrying the load. You're still fighting.
If well, there's two more things. Two, one, if he just kept a bit more in contact, you
Yep.
would have noticed patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And two, afterwards, after the whole situation, he didn't completely he not that he could have like he dealt with the information he had at the time, but he feels that if he had investigated a bit further, maybe had actually not crossed it off as a non-possibility and actually done his job a bit better,
Oh, if
then he would have
Mr.
solved this.
If
There's so much
Mr.
survivor's guilt in your
Oh,
family.
yeah.
Shit.
If Mr. Breaks the Rules had broken the rules and gone into the scrap and done some investigating, that yeah, Coes isn't sleeping.
Is Coas the older brother?
Kois is the older brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's older than them by about like 3 years, I think.
I think that's
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
You know what I've realized?
What's that?
Delilah has not told anybody what her shit is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She just has not gotten the chance. And at this point, she's like, we are dealing with so much of everyone else's stuff. It's like, I'm just not going to tell them.
Yep. Well, there will be time. There absolutely. Which this kind of makes sense too, because Artemis is the other sort of mechanically and character-wise. They're the other sort of psychic healer in this group. They're the other one that has a mechanic that allows them to heal trauma as well, right? Of the mental variety. So yeah, it makes sense that you're sort of still bottled up. You've been too busy helping these people. So yeah, your turn to explode is next.
I don't need to worry about my trauma. Look, there's all the other people that need help.
I could help these people instead
I
of dealing
mean-
with
I'll
my
deal
shit.
with my shit later.
It's the Stefano approach, right? If I work on engineering, I don't have to think about that. Yeah. So yeah.
That's not even what I realized is that's not even why she hasn't said anything. She's just like there's just too much else happening.
Too much going on.
For-
She, like
Yep.
I don't like she originally went to like the night before the eruption, she went to Artemis's house to tell them what happened. And then
Right.
Thomas ran away, and Verite was outside,
Yeah.
and Carol was there.
And then-
And there was a glitter bomb.
You guys
And then
make
and
it.
then the
glitter
world
bomb.
blew up.
For
You guys
out
make
of-
it sound so planned. You guys make it sound so tightly written.
So then, and then the next day when she could have told them again, the fucking volcano exploded.
for
And
course
it's
he hasn't
just been problem after problem after problem, and
Yep.
Delilah's just like, well, now it's too late.
Mhm.
for course he hasn't had to like specifically like actually come to terms with that grief, because although sure he would obsess over the case and pursue it, but he would always come into dead ends. So by not finding answers, he never actually had to come to terms
Never had
with
to
the
face it.
answers.
Yeah. Never had to face it.
Psychology.
Oh yeah.
Character bleed, the series.
And I
There's like
will-
a part of him that's like, oh, a dead end. Yes, thank God.
Well, tonight was yeah, I love that. But tonight was a great example of this, where people say, "Wow, you know, these games that you do this in is I didn't do shit tonight." Coas, and it wasn't Coas. I mean, it was Phil. You dug that hole.
Yeah.
You gave me the gang. You gave me the everything I needed.
Mhm.
So all I did was say it out loud. So yes, this is why I love communal storytelling, because nobody knows how to hurt your characters better than you. Right? I can guess and I can be as good as I want at reading people, but I will never know what hurts your characters as well as you will. So I just give you rope, and away you go. So
Exactly.
yeah. We haven't really
Yeah,
heard
you-
from
you- You didn't know any of this.
No.
Of going in.
No. So we haven't really heard from Sid/Bison about tonight. So we're either one of those people, because, dude, that all
Where
three of you,
I'm
that
at,
was some
shit.
amazing acting. That,
I
by the way,
almost cried.
oh, I watched.
Like,
Yeah,
holy cow! I was holding them back for a bit there. That was definitely a ride. This episode was a lot.
Yep.
I've been holding on that king for. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was going to be bam right there.
yep.
That was a lot. I mean, I've been beating up Sid since like
Day one.
day
Yep.
one, just about.
But
And I don't do that with my players.
Sid
Or
can
my-
do
with
this,
My characters, my
right?
characters.
That's what I wanted Sid to take away from this episode, is you can do this, at least at the level of this dude, this company from Venice, Right.
Yeah.
Now that you understand the tricks that they've used, there's nothing here you can't do. This isn't verite level savant shit. Right.
Mhm.
So you can literally change pretty much anywhere you go.
But yeah, no, this is, and yeah, Sid's, as far as where Sid is tonight after the end of this, he's probably feeling a little bit, um, well, a little bit vulnerable. He's feeling very vulnerable. Um, there's that whole stiff upper lip bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
right? That the Englishmen have, and he did not. That lip was not stiff at all.
It was a wibbly. It was all wibbly.
Very wibbly,
Mm-hmm.
even under the mustache.
Given the day,
but
this joke's only going to make sense on the day we broadcast this, but it was the king of Wibble was coronated today. So yeah,
King Wibble the
King
third.
Wibble the lip. Yes.
He satellite ears. Anywho, but yeah, Sid's in a lot better place. He's had his breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
He's finally gotten rid of one of his 3 heart traumas.
Yeah.
Come to Delilah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think now he's actually at a place where he's willing to discuss it.
Yeah.
Because it's before it was kind of I'm
Right.
seeing shit.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Never
Go
mind.
ahead. No, go question. Yeah.
Did Delilah get any kind of trauma from that nightmare?
Yes. Sure. Yes. Please. Yeah.
Okay.
Delilah and
Would
Artemis
that
are
be-
chicken soup for the soul. Yeah. Yeah. You tell me one or two. One doesn't really affect you. So if you really want to say that it's affecting your ability to function, take 2, because that's -1 on your rolls, right?
Would it be
Or
what,
-1 on your plays.
flesh, or would it be?
Yeah, hearts.
I can
your
I consider
social
flesh
hearts,
to
your
be kind
empathy,
of like your
right?
mental.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
empathy, your firmness. That's your mind, right? Your social.
Yeah, she's already got one trauma in that from all the Elizabetta stuff.
So one more would that will actually start to affect your ability to function, right? Which makes sense to me.
Yeah, which does make sense.
So. Yeah.
Because if it's affecting her to the extent that she's having nightmares, it's starting to really affect her.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, let's step away and give you guys a week to decompress. Oh, wow. Holy cow, this game is absolutely stunning. You guys bring out the best in me every week. Every game is different, and every game requires something different from the players and from the GM. I have got to be so quick on my feet on Saturday night. It just makes me happy. It's like it's dancing blindfold on a razor blade is the only phrase that keeps coming to mind, and I love it. It's my favorite hobby. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Specifically tonight, every single one of you acted. And it wasn't role playing tonight. There were characters that became, right? You weren't saying, it was first person. The lips were quivering, the emotions were real. This is what role play can be. This is not everybody does this, and not everybody has to do this, and this isn't the right way to do it. It is a way to do it, and I've never seen anybody do it better than the 3 of you did tonight. So thank you so much, Wayward Knight, Bison _ Stonefist, and Phil.
I want to give a thank you to you, Kev, because you're the one that kind of helped me foster that by inviting me back. all
You
those
are
years.
absolutely training us. Like, you've been doing this for 3 years now.
Well, I'm gonna take
just with us. Like,
yeah, here I'm gonna take a
with
brief
30,
moment
20 gaming
to brag. I don't toot my own horn very often, but Phil is now a GM. Bison is now a GM.
That's true.
And Wayward is now a GM. I know you've done it before, but now you're streaming it. So
It's an MLM. He's
and even though they're not here, and nobody knows this, Thunderscape has agreed to GM
Yeah.
our off-screen game
Wednesday.
on Wednesday nights. So
What?
I am 4 for
Oh my
4
God.
tonight.
Yeah.
So people ask me why I do this, because there are 4 more GMs in the world than there were when I started. There's more than that, but I'm 4 for 4 on the Saturday night show. So why do I do this?
Robin's been outed.
Yeah, that's why I do this. It's okay. The only reason I did that, Robin, is because it's not live. So I wouldn't
And she
otherwise.
has GM'd for us before.
Yes, you
in
have.
You Wake
Several
in a
times.
Strange Place.
Yep, several
Yes,
times.
yes.
Yeah.
Evil supervillain. Huh?
How about an evil? I'll take an evil superhero laugh. Actually, there's the meme. You guys have posted it a couple of times. The big bad paladin-looking guy in the armor with the rubber ducky around his
Yeah.
waist.
Oh yeah,
Leading
the
the
forever GM leading the little
the
baby
new players.
GMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new
Um,
players.
So yeah, people ask me, why do you do this? Why do you put in all this time? This is why. That's 4 people that I don't think any of you really thought you'd ever stream or run a game, and all of you did. So I couldn't be prouder, I couldn't be happier, and I could not be prouder of not only all of you guys, which I say all the time. I'll say it tonight, it's weird, but I'll say it out loud. I'm proud of me too. I usually bounce that off, but I am. We do some amazing stuff here, and I have to at least admit that I'm part of that. So with that, thank you so much to Wayward Knight, Bison_Stonefist, and Phil. Which sounds like the first line of a joke. It sounds like a Bison, a
3
Wayward,
Phils walk into a bar.
a Bison, a Wayward, and a Phil walk into a bar. You're welcome for this channel. It does make a lot of difference to a lot of people, and I keep getting reminded of that, and it's a really cool thing. Before I get maudlin, there's 2 more thank yous. Thank you to everybody in chat tonight and every other night. It's appreciated. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like being watched. It brings out my best. Not just playing with amazingly talented people, but knowing that there's somebody watching and enjoying it as well is how another way of how I get paid. So thank you. And finally, to the people in the future watching this on YouTube, if you watched all the way to here, please hit that like button. There's a ton of you that we have had. Episodes of this have gone over 100 views. So please tell your friends if you think it's that good. Blow some other people's minds. We're not that far in. They could actually go back and binge watch this. They're only 2-hour sessions. Go watch it all. But while you do all of that, and while you do everything else, please, until next time, be nice to each other. Good night.